NASA's Perseverance rover may have made an extraordinary discovery, signs of ancient life on Mars.
The brain is made up of billions of nerve cells, or neurons.
Marina traffic, experimental 542, Bravo Juliet, will be taking runway 29 shortly.
The Olympics and elections have been grabbing all the headlines in 2024.
Alien megastructure. This is the most speculative and exciting hypothesis, which suggests that an advanced civilization has built a giant structure around the star to harvest its energy.
But quietly, there have been some wild discoveries this year, and we still have a few months to go.
Ancient Egypt was a civilization obsessed with the rituals of death.
From groundbreaking medical breakthroughs to megastructures in space, these finds will leave you amazed. So without keeping you waiting any longer, let's dive in. Number 1. Pyramids Secret. The pyramids in Egypt have had scientists and engineers scratching their heads for ages from how it was built to its purpose. The most believed theory on how the massive stones were transported to extreme heights is that ancient Egyptians used ramps, rollers, and sheer human force. But guess what? A study published in 2024 might just blow that theory out of the water. The Step Pyramid of Djoser in Saqqara is the oldest pyramid out there, built way before the Great Pyramids of Giza.
This is where it all began. It is the first monumental building in stone anywhere in the world.
While digging into this 4,500-year-old marvel, engineers stumbled upon something groundbreaking. Using radar satellite images and old archaeological reports, they figured out that a hydraulic lift might have been used during construction. The idea came from the Gisr El Mudir, a nearby stone structure that has all the characteristics of a check dam. This dam might have been used to manage water and control floods. According to the study, they could have used water from the Nile to filter out sediments and then channeled it through underground conduits to the pyramid's 90-foot-deep chambers. Limestones were placed into the water and lifted up and pushed into the place. This discovery not only challenges old beliefs about how pyramids were built, but also pushes back the timeline on how early humans might have used hydraulics. Number 2. Mammoth Resurrection. A lot of animals that once ruled the Earth have gone extinct. But remember how Jurassic Park showed they could be brought back using genetic info? Well, that idea isn't just science fiction anymore. Back in 2018, in a cave in Siberia, remains of a 52,000-year-old female woolly mammoth were found.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, this blonde hair, yeah?
That fur's really long.
Thanks to the ice, this mammoth was so well preserved that it still had hair attached and its muscle structure was intact. But it wasn't until 2024 that scientists were able to map its DNA in a three-dimensional arrangement. DNA usually starts decaying quickly after death, so recovering a chromosome in its full 3D structure seemed impossible. But this mammoth didn't just freeze after dying, it froze to death, preserving a lot of DNA information. Even though many of its DNA base pairs were missing, it took scientists years to piece them back together using a technology called Hi-C. The mammoth was found to have 28 pairs of chromosomes, the same as their relatives, the Asian elephants. While scientists will first work on understanding how mammoth characteristics adapted to different environments, this chromosomal model opens up the possibility of resurrecting these giants. And don't worry, there won't be a Jurassic Park-style disaster since woolly mammoths are herbivores. Number 3. The Big Ring. Alexia Lopez, a PhD student from the University of Central Lancashire, has 2 crazy discoveries under her belt before even getting her doctorate. It started in 2021. While studying large-scale structures in the universe, she found a giant arc of galaxies almost 3.3 billion light-years long. This unusual find prompted her to continue focusing on the same region. And in early 2024, using data from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, she spotted a massive ring-shaped structure made up of galaxies and galaxy clusters.
Today I will present a big ring on the sky, which is my second large-scale structure discovery that further challenges our understanding of the universe.
In the night sky, this structure would appear 15 times larger than the Moon, but it's so far away and faint that you can't see it without advanced techniques. The craziest part? Its mere existence challenges our fundamental understanding of the universe. According to the cosmological principle, everything in the universe should be evenly distributed on a large scale because the forces should act uniformly. But this giant ring shouldn't exist at all, according to that theory, yet it does, forcing us to rethink everything we thought we knew about the cosmos. The Big Ring has a diameter of 1.3 billion light-years and is about 9.2 billion light-years away, facing Earth. Right now, no one has any solid theories or understanding of how this massive structure could have formed. Number 4. Dark oxygen. Photosynthesis is the process responsible for producing a big chunk of the oxygen on our planet and is considered the sole reason for oxygen production in the ocean. But since it requires sunlight, there shouldn't be any oxygen production in the dark depths of the ocean, right? Well, that's what everyone believed, until a recent discovery turned that idea on its head. The Clarion-Clipperton Zone in the Pacific Ocean is a prime target for sea mining.
I've heard of these clusters before. They are the resources often targeted by deep-sea mining companies, as they're full of valuable materials like cobalt, manganese, and nickel.
Because at a depth of around 4,000 meters, there are potato-sized rocks full of minerals used in batteries. But researchers discovered these polymetallic rocks aren't just sitting there, they're doing something that seemed impossible: creating oxygen in the dark. It all started in 2013 when researchers noticed oxygen levels at these great depths were higher than expected. Initially, this was dismissed as a sensor error, but further studies confirmed the anomaly. Deep-sea ecologist Andrew Sweetman began to wonder if these rocks had anything to do with it. In 2024, he made a breakthrough after recreating deep-sea conditions in a lab and found that the oxygen levels were increasing around these rocks. It turns out these rocks act like a geobattery, breaking up seawater into oxygen and hydrogen. And what's even crazier is that experts say life couldn't originate in the deep sea because they thought there was no oxygen. But this new discovery will force them to reconsider their beliefs. Number 5. Restoring brain cells. The human brain, made up of hundreds of billions of neurons and other cells, is like a complex puzzle scientist still trying to figure it out. For the longest time, they believed that once brain cells get damaged, there is absolutely nothing which can be done to restore them.
Will help in the future to repair damaged neurons and to treat neurological diseases.
Well, that's not the case anymore, because in 2024, scientists have finally succeeded in repairing damaged brain cells. They were trying to find a treatment for a rare genetic disorder known as Timothy syndrome. In this disorder, a genetic mutation produces a defective protein that can lead to various problems. The scientists discovered a drug called an antisense nucleotide that allowed the cluster of human neurons in a lab to develop normally despite having this genetic mutation. This drug essentially replaces the defective protein with a healthy one. While fully regenerating all brain cells is still a distant goal, this new approach could lead to treatments for conditions like schizophrenia, epilepsy, ADHD, and other genetic disorders. Number 6. New Unsolved Mystery. A small village in Cyprus is home to ruins from a long-lost civilization, and for around 15 years, archaeologists and researchers have been studying it. In the summer of 2024, a team from the University of Siena were digging around the site, although they might be in search of a relic or two, but instead, they found something crazy: a 4,000-years-old temple. In the rectangular room, they also found a monolith roughly 7.5 feet tall, made of smooth, polished stones, featuring a circular motif of small cups at its center. Although the researchers found it toppled over, it once stood at the heart of the temple, surrounded by ancient jars and fireplaces, suggesting it played a crucial role in the rituals of this lost civilization. The archaeologists also discovered the remains of a young woman lying under a massive stone. Her skull was crushed, hinting at a brutal end, possibly to prevent her spirit from haunting the living. Was she sacrificed as part of some ritual? If not, why was her body placed inside the temple near the monolith? These questions may never be answered, adding another layer of mystery to this ancient site. Number 7. Hydrogen-powered aircraft. Aircraft are a marvel of human engineering, getting millions of people to far-flung places every day, but they also pump out a ton of pollution. So, engineers worldwide have been working on greener, emission-free aircraft, including electric and solar-powered options. But the future might not be as electric as you think, because hydrogen-powered aircraft are the new buzz. Hydrogen-powered planes could potentially overtake electric ones because batteries are heavy, making long-distance flight challenging. Hydrogen, on the other hand, packs more energy per unit of weight compared to batteries, allowing for longer flights with the same weight dimensions. Plus, refueling with hydrogen is more practical for commercial aircraft than waiting to charge batteries. And these hydrogen-powered aircraft aren't just a distant dream. They're already a reality. Joby Aviation took their electric planes, the ones that can take off and land straight up and down, and gave them a hydrogen upgrade by adding a fuel tank and fuel cell. In late 2023, Joby's hydrogen air taxi took to the skies for the first time. But it was a flight on June 24, 2024 that really broke records. The aircraft completed a 523-mile journey with 0 emissions, using just a 40-kilogram fuel tank, and it still had 10% of its fuel left after landing. Number 8. Boat. When stars burn through all their fuel, they collapse into rapidly spinning black holes. As matter falls into these black holes, jets of particles are shot out in opposite directions at nearly the speed of light. These cosmic fireworks, known as gamma-ray bursts or GRBs, are usually detected when one of these jets points directly at Earth. We see GRBs almost daily, but in October 2022, something extraordinary happened. An incredibly bright GRB hit Earth, and it was so intense that it blinded NASA's telescopes for a few minutes. They quickly called it BOAT, short for the brightest of all time. Fast forward to 2024, and NASA scientists discovered something brand new in the BOAT data using the Fermi Gamma Ray Telescope. After the initial burst faded, another emission showed up, lasting about 40 seconds with an energy level around 12 million electron volts. Number 9. Reversing lupus. The immune system is our personal army to fight off foreign invaders. But in some cases, it goes crazy. It starts thinking that our own body parts are the threat and launches attacks on our own tissues.
Type 2 hypersensitivity, which produces antibodies against host tissue.
Lupus is one such autoimmune disorder, which affects around 5 million folks around the world. Up until July 2024, we didn't really know what caused lupus, and treatment mainly focused on suppressing the immune system, which, unfortunately, made patients more susceptible to other illnesses. But now there's hope for a real breakthrough. Scientists have discovered a potential root cause of lupus, an imbalance in T cells, with too many causing damage and not enough doing repairs. The culprit? A protein called interferon. The exciting part is that a simple drug blocking this protein could stop the T cell imbalance, allowing patients to keep their immune system strong while effectively managing the disease. Number 10. Retro monkey. If I say animals can be cloned, you might not believe me, but trust me, it's no science fiction, but a reality for decades. It all started back in 1996 with the first ever clone, Dolly the sheep. Scientists took a nucleus from a simple cell of an adult sheep and replaced the nucleus of an egg cell with it, letting it grow naturally. With no other genetic information, the newborn Dolly was an identical copy of the sheep the nucleus was taken from.
Dolly the sheep was a sensation when she first appeared before the world. A scientific breakthrough, fascinating but also menacing.
Since then, this technique has been used to create clones of many animals like cats, dogs, and cows. However, when it came to primates, things got tricky, and the method didn't work as well. But finally, over 20 years after Dolly, scientists succeeded in cloning 2 monkeys in 2018. The main challenge, though, was cloning a rhesus monkey due to their similarities with humans. After several attempts, scientists managed to clone one, but the newborn unfortunately passed away just 12 hours later. Number 11. Dyson Spheres. In this big universe with billions of galaxies, we can't be alone, right? Probably yes, but finding evidence of intelligent life on other planets haven't really yielded any convincing results. How the aliens are and what they are capable of is more of a sci-fi fantasy, but there is one concept, which might not be so far-fetched after all. Known as the Dyson Sphere, this hypothetical megastructure is built around the stars by some advanced species who want to make the most of the star's energy.
Megastructure. This is the most speculative and exciting hypothesis, which suggests that an advanced civilization has built a giant structure around the star to harvest its energy.
This idea was originally put forward in the 1960s and gained more interest in the 2010s when an unusual star known as Tabby's star was identified as a possible candidate for having a Dyson sphere around it. Telescopes look for exoplanets by measuring a slight decrease in a star's brightness as a planet passes in front of it. But Tabby's star showed an odd pattern of brightness dips with far greater reductions, as if something large was blocking the light. While many experts dismissed the idea of a Dyson sphere, suggesting it might just be a cloud of space dust causing the dimming, 2024 brought a new twist. A team dedicated to searching for Dyson spheres discovered that 7 out of 5 million stars in their study were glowing in the infrared, just as a star surrounded by a Dyson sphere would, according to the predicted model. People are still debating this new evidence, but it's the closest we've come to proof that aliens might exist and are far more advanced than we are. Number 12. Deep sea mountains. Finding aliens might still be a distant dream, but guess what? There are some pretty alien-like creatures right here on Earth lurking in the depths of the ocean. Over January and February 2024, a team of researchers sent underwater robots capable of diving 4,500 meters deep off the coast of Chile. Their mission? To explore 2 underwater mountain ranges, the Nazca and Salas y Gomez ridges. Yes, you heard that right. Mountains under the sea. But the surprises didn't stop there. While mapping over 50,000 square kilometers of uncharted territory, these robots stumbled upon more than 100 new species, completely new to science. Finding new animals in unexplored areas is somewhat expected, but the number of them left everyone amazed. It makes you wonder just how many thousands or even millions of undiscovered creatures are out there. They also found 4 new mountains, each with its own unique ecosystem. Identifying all the species in this region could take years, but the Schmidt Ocean Institute plans to continue exploring the waters off the coast of Chile and Peru for the rest of 2024. Their ambitious goal? To discover over 10,000 new marine species in the next decade. I can't wait to see what Pokemon-like creatures they uncover next. Number 13. Element 120. Elements get pretty unstable as they get bigger, all thanks to the crowded center packed with positively charged protons. Remember your science lessons? Like charges repel, so cramming a bunch of protons together doesn't exactly work smoothly. In the periodic table, uranium holds the atomic number 92, meaning it has 92 protons. But beyond that, elements aren't natural, they're made in particle accelerators or through nuclear reactions. Back in 2002, element 118 was synthesized and officially recognized in 2016. But since then, it felt like chemistry hit a roadblock. Scientists have been trying to create an element with more than 118 protons, but couldn't find a way. They were using calcium isotopes to make bigger elements, but ran out of them. To create heavier elements, you'd ideally need elements with atomic numbers in the 90s or 100s to add more protons and neutrons. Unfortunately, they're not available in sufficient quantities. It seemed like the quest for new elements was over, but earlier this year, scientists discovered a way to make heavy elements using a beam of titanium. They successfully created element 116, and with this new technique, they believe they can make elements 119 and 120 in the future. Looks like the next generation has some new elements to learn about. Number 14, Placebo Effect. Imagine you're suffering from intense pain and illness, and the doctor hands you a pill. After taking it, you feel a lot better. Naturally, you would think the pill did the trick, right? Well, sometimes that pill might have nothing but sugar. This is known as the placebo effect, and it is surprisingly effective. Basically, your mind is tricked into thinking you're getting better, and then your body goes along. But how does our brain pull off this amazing trick? That's what scientists have been trying to figure out. In 2024, a study on mice finally pointed out the brain regions involved in this mysterious phenomenon.
Mouse models, or even rat models, or monkeys, or people, is that all of us, all mammals, have hemoglobin in their brains.
Researchers set up two chambers, one with a warm floor and the other with a painfully hot floor. They trained the mice to expect pain relief whenever they entered the cooler chamber. After that, they made both chambers hot and found that the mice still felt relief in the cool chamber, even though it was just as hot as the other one. Using live imaging tools, they were surprised to find brain activity in areas associated with movement, not pain, specifically the cerebellum and brainstem. This discovery is the first evidence that the placebo effect has a real, measurable impact on the brain. It could help us understand how to harness this effect for more effective treatments in the future. Number 15, life on Mars. For more than 3 years, the Perseverance rover has been roaming around on Mars to search for evidence for past life by investigating and collecting unique rocks to send back to Earth in future. So far, Perseverance has collected and stored 21 rocks. But on July 21st, 2024, it found the 22nd rock, nicknamed Chayava Falls, which could be the most intriguing discovery yet.
NASA, yes, we have, Rome. You'll never believe what it is. Can't be a rock. It is a rock, Rome. We found another rock. What's it?
This arrowhead-shaped rock shows chemical signatures and structures that might have been formed by ancient life. This rock was found in a 400-meter-wide valley formed by water rushing into the Jezero crater long ago. NASA's robotic geologist hit the jackpot by exploring this ancient riverbed, uncovering something never seen before. The most puzzling and important rock investigated by Perseverance has distinctive colorful spots, similar to leopard spots, suggesting chemical reactions of microbial life. It also has vein-like carvings, showing that water once flowed through it. On Earth, similar rocks with colorful spots are often associated with fossilized records of microbes. Number 16, water batteries. The use of electric vehicles is increasing rapidly in our push for a greener, cleaner planet. But there's a big concern: lithium mining for the batteries. The methods used to extract lithium can harm local ecosystems, and with demand rising, we might run into shortages down the road. But scientists might have just found a way to meet the growing need for batteries without harming the Earth as much. Enter the recyclable water batteries. While the concept has been around for a while, it was only this year that 2 teams, one in Australia and another in China, managed to create and test these batteries. To store and give electrical power, batteries need a solution, which traditionally was the harmful sulfuric acid. But in these batteries, they use water with salt to do the trick, with no worries about it setting up on fire under harsh conditions, unlike lithium batteries, which have the tendency to go boom. The best part? They use common metals like magnesium, zinc, and calcium, making them easier and cheaper to mass produce. So far, teams have successfully made prototypes in the form of coin cell batteries, battery packs for old-school Nokia-style phones, and AA-style cylinder batteries. As technology advances, it's quite possible that many household appliances in the future will be powered by these safer and more affordable water batteries. Number 17. Ancient Sarcophagus. In October 2023, while surveying the city water system, the team stumbled upon something extraordinary, a chamber sealed with a tough slab. When they opened it, their jaws dropped. It was an ancient tomb with amazing paintings on the walls. One painting depicts a three-headed dog known as Cerberus, a monster from Greek myths who guards the underworld. Naturally, they dubbed it the Tomb of Cerberus. The investigations revealed that this tomb is around 2,200 years old, and the paintings weren't the only intriguing thing inside. During the full exploration of the cave, archaeologists found an unsealed sarcophagus. They initially tried to peek inside using a micro camera and could tell it wasn't empty. So, in July 2024, they finally decided to open it. Inside, they found a person covered by a shroud, lying face up in an excellent state of preservation. Along with the mummy were ointment jars and other goods. This discovery left everyone in shock because they didn't expect the mummy to be this well preserved. DNA analysis and other tests are ongoing to find out more about how the body managed to stay so intact. But the big question remains, who is this person? Clearly, they belong to a wealthy and important family, but for now, their identity remains a mystery. Number 18. Mummified Crocodile. Ancient Egyptians really respected crocodiles. They had a god named Sobek who looked like a man with a crocodile head.
Sobek became among Egypt's most important deities.
He really came into his own about 2000 BC.
He was in charge of the Nile River and was super important to them. To show their love for Sobek, they would mummify real crocodiles. It was like their way of honoring him. One such crocodile mummy has been hanging out in the British Museum for ages. No one really knows from which part of Egypt it came from or what happened to it before it ended up there. In 2024, new scans revealed some extraordinary details. This mummy is around 7.2 feet long and about 3,000 years old. While the Egyptians typically removed organs during human mummification, it turns out they didn't do the same for these crocodiles dedicated to Sobek. The scans showed that this croc still had mostly undigested fish inside its stomach, suggesting it had its last meal shortly before being mummified. But the real kicker? They found a bronze fishhook in its stomach, looking pretty similar to the ones we use today. The fishhook suggests that this crocodile was hunted and sacrificed soon after. Crocodiles of this size are notoriously difficult to catch, so this discovery raises new questions. Did the ancient Egyptians use a simple fishhook and line, or was there more strategy involved? That's the new mystery to solve. Number 19. Fighter Yeast. Scientists have found a very creative way to fight off Candida albicans, which is responsible for over 200,000 deaths just in a year. And what's this creative solution? A type of yeast.
From yeast metabolism.
Yup, they have found a yeast that can fight off Candida albicans, protecting us from its deadly clutches. Number 20. Tiny robots. One of the discoveries that has gone very unnoticed by the public has been these tiny robots by Washington State University. These extremely smart robots are modeled after insects. The smallest weighs only 8 milligrams. Yeah, that's tiny. And despite being extremely small, they are super fast. So maybe we will have tiny spy insects robots soon? That's a wrap on our journey through crazy discoveries made in 2024. Which one of these did you find most intriguing? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you are notified each time we post a video just for you. Thank you for watching.